Well, welcome on back. We're taking a look at the NFC playoffs. Divisional leaders, you got the Seahawks, Chicago Bears, Eagles, and the Panthers. Wildcard spot, the 49ers, Rams, Packers, and the Buccaneers still in the hunt. Tomorrow night, the Seahawks take on the 49ers, fresh off a huge win over the Bears. What an insane game that was. But let's bring on in our own Ryan Wilson and J.P. Acosta to break down this matchup tomorrow night. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. A big game for that top seed. J.P., what is the expectations coming into tomorrow night with a lot on the line for the Seahawks and their defense?
I'm excited to see if the Seahawks defense can really win what is supposed to be a heavyweight fight. The 49ers offense has been incredible over the last few weeks, but I'm really trying to see if the Seahawks defense can force the Niners into playing off schedule. Over the last 3 weeks, the Niners have had a 45.2% success rate when they've run the football. They have improved so much on that side of the ball with getting their offensive linemen back healthy. But the problem is the Seahawks defensive line is the best unit at stopping the run. They have guys like Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed. They are just able to eat double teams, make plays off of it, and they are so good at playing the run out of light boxes. I'm really excited to see if they can stop the run and force Brock Purdy to go and win this game for the 49ers.
Yeah, JP, I think that's a good place to start. The other place I'm sort of interested in is which Sam Darnold will show up given what day it is on the calendar, because in the fall when the leaves are changing, he is lights out Sam the last 2 years. And then once the snow starts falling, we get to January, I'm seeing Ghost New York Jets version of Sam. Last year in Week 18, they had a chance to get that #1 overall seed in Minnesota, and they no-showed against the Lions. They lost that game 31-9. I think Sam Darnold completed something like 44% of his passes. So different team, different circumstances, similar defense probably, maybe a little better with Mike McDonald's D. Either way, this is going to be on Sam about limited turnovers, something he struggled with, and what that looks like for the rest of this offense with JSN and a running game that has an opportunity to get going as well.
Well, of course, guys, the winner of this game gets a bye in the first week in the first round of the playoffs. Ryan, who's going to have to step up for Seattle to get that? Who needs that 1 seed more between the two?
Now, who the needs 1 seed more is an interesting question. Sam Darnold is my impact player, and mostly because of what I just talked about there, but also the players around him that have to step up. Jackson Smith-Njigba has been one of the best players in the league. I think Charles Cross is going to be out of this game, so they have concerns there at left tackle. The running game can get going with Zach Charbonnet and Ken Walker III, and I think that makes things interesting. And the other thing that's perhaps in Sam Darnold's favor is that because of the slew of injuries that the 49ers have suffered, they are not getting after the pass after the quarterback like they have in recent years. And I think part of that is Robert Saleh's offense, part of that is injury related. So that could be another opportunity for Sam to have a tick longer in the pocket to avoid the mistakes that have plagued him. Frankly, this team turns the ball over literally like it's their job and still finds ways to win football games. But if Sam can play 75% of the Sam that we see when he's at his peak for Seattle, I think that's going to go a long way in getting them this win.
I'm flipping at Riverside for my impact player. I'm going with Leonard Williams, defensive tackle for the Seahawks. If you want to see why the Seahawks defense works, watch number 99 in the middle of the defense. He is such a selfless player. He takes on double teams. He makes plays off of double teams. He's such a havoc wrecker when it comes to the stunts and the loops and the pass rush games that Mike McDonald wants to do. He'll also drop Leonard Williams in coverage. He had a pick 6 last season for the Seahawks. He's been dropping into coverage this season. I think for Leonard Williams and this Seahawks defensive line, going up against Kyle Shanahan, who might be the best offensive play caller in the NFL, I think having a great game and impacting the offensive line from the middle of the defense, I think it's going to really have a negative effect on the 49ers run game and being able to affect Brock Purdy and force him to make some mistakes.
All right, Ryan, J.P., let's move to the 49ers now. San Francisco put up 42 last week in a crazy offensive game. J.P., what is expected this week?
I'm expecting to see if Robert Saleh can make Sam Darnold uncomfortable. Over the last 3 weeks, they've blitzed at a much higher rate. They've had a pressure rate that's been much higher when they blitzed in the beginning of the season. And it feels like Robert Saleh started to lean into a little bit more of what his youth on defense brings. They don't have guys who can necessarily win with 4. You can't just sit back and let Sam Darnold dice you up. But where Sam Darnold has really struggled is when you show blitzers, you show guys who might be adding on, and then you drop guys who we wouldn't expect to be dropping into coverage. That's how the Rams were able to fool him. That's how when Sam Darnold throws a lot of interceptions, that's how those plays happen. So I'm curious to see if Robert Saleh changes his stripes a little bit and leans into the speed and aggression of that San Francisco defense that has a lot of youth and forces Sam Darnold to make some uncomfortable decisions in this game.
So, Trish, you asked me a second ago which team would best utilize this number one seed. I think it's the 49ers, in part because they've been so banged up with injuries and they're sort of holding this thing together with duct tape. Also because the Super Bowl is going to be in San Francisco, and that perhaps gives them that little edge they may need when they get to that final game. But the other thing to keep in mind is whoever loses this game is going to be either the 5th or 6th seed. The number one seed historically has gone to the Super Bowl 26 times. If you're the number 5 or number 6 seed, you've had 4 combined trips to the Super Bowl. So your path gets eminently easier by virtue of the fact that you get that first round bye, and then you're playing at home, and then you literally never have to leave for the 2 weeks between the championship game and the Super Bowl if you're San Francisco. All those things point to a little added motivation, if you will, to try to win this game. The last time these two teams met, by the way, in week 1, the 49ers eked out that win on that touchdown pass from Purdy to Jake Tonges. That feels like it was 40 years ago. This is going to be a completely different game, obviously completely different stakes and atmosphere, which is going to make it so much more exciting.
Well, guys, all eyes are on tomorrow. Big guys to watch tomorrow. Ryan, you mentioned injuries, looking especially at George Kittle and his ankle injury. Who's the guy or guys to pay attention to tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going with George Kittle because when he is on the field, even if he's not 100% healthy, he is such a difference maker, and not near the line of scrimmage like you think about typically with tight ends, whether in line or whether you move them around or not. But he is a difference maker 10-plus yards down the field. He is so effective. Passer ratings of 158.3 from either Mac Jones or Brock Purdy when they are targeting him more than 10 yards down the field this season, and that impact is played out throughout his entire career. The other thing that's sort of good news, whether George Kittle is completely healthy or not, but that he's on the field altogether. The Seahawks have struggled against tight ends. They've been so good in so many other areas defensively. Trey McBride went for 179. Of course, he had 24 targets, but still, Dalton Schultz went for almost 100. Kyle Pitts went for 90. So they're willing to give up yards to tight ends to accommodate other areas. So keep an eye on George Kittle out there and how often he is utilized by Brock Purdy.
It's a big defensive line day for me. I'm going to go with Bryce Huff, defensive end for the 49ers. Among the available 49ers left on the defensive line, Bryce Huff leads the team with a 14% pressure rate. You have to make Sam Darnold uncomfortable in this game. You have to force him to throw on the move. You have to force him off his spot, and that's how turnovers will happen. Bryce Huff is such a speedy, such a explosive pass rusher that I think he's going to be able to create some plays, and whenever they need a big moment up front, it's normally been Bryce Huff. That game-ending play in Chicago against the Bears on last Sunday, Bryce Huff was in the backfield forcing Caleb Williams off his spot, so that led to the incompletion. Bryce Huff is going to have a big game up front for them to win.
All right, guys, game predictions. Obviously, a huge deciding game tomorrow. JP, who do you have winning tomorrow night?
Give me the Seahawks. I actually think that this defensive line and this defense, I have so much faith in their ability to make the 49ers one-dimensional. Their ability to stop the run, and I know it sort of gets played out, stop the run and you win the game, but their ability to stop the run with only 6 defenders allows you to devote more guys to defending the pass. They're going to make it a tough time on Brock Purdy, who threw multiple interceptions the first time this team played, and probably should have thrown another one instead. That was the game-winning touchdown to Jake Tonges. And I think this defensive line is going to be able to take over the game. And the 49ers defense has been pretty poor against the run and the pass. This could be a big Kenneth Walker game. So I think the Seahawks win. I think they take the 1 seed.
What a time to be alive. We're all on the Sam Darnold bandwagon. I never thought those would be words that I would say out loud. But look, I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm with you, JP. Last year, he was a disappointment in January. I want good things for Sam Darnold. I want him to get over that hump, and this would go a long way in doing that and proving that he is a top 15 quarterback. He proved that last year during the regular season, again this year. Limit the turnovers, lean on your defense, lean on your running game, and everything else will take care of itself. I like the Seahawks as well.
All righty, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you. See you next time. And coming up, you guys, let's take a look at those NFC betting odds. The most recent numbers. Seattle, the favorites here, with the Rams right under it. And then you got Tampa Bay in last. The Eagles at 490. My Chicago Bears, 850.